But there's also a simple economic principle in that if the majority of your country is below your median income, you are like, I shouldn't say the majority, but there's a certain point at which if most people are under the median income, you will get a revolution. Mm-hmm. Because all these, what's happening now, it's not even necessarily the median income, it's the perception. These young people go on TikTok and Instagram and they see everyone's rich. They see these people, they're gambling influencers. They're like, I'm going to bet $10,000 right now. And they're going, why am I broke? Something must be wrong. Mm-hmm. That guy's wasting money gambling. He should give it to me. And then you get enough people, they vote for Zohran Mamdani.
Well, as we've been talking, sometimes I just I step back and I just think to myself, we're having all these conversations about the minutia of what's wrong with America. And then I think to myself, what's going to happen with AI? Like, what's going to happen with this exponential rise in technology and a technology we were just listening to this unbelievable music that's made by a computer.
Yeah.
And I get sad and scared. I start to long for the old days of the buggy whip. I don't want to live in a time when people say I love the good old days. No. You don't want to live before anesthesia. All right.
Yes.
Well, let's start there. Set the bone. We want to set a bone with a little numbing agent, if you don't mind, or dentistry. All right.
Well,
antibiotics.
They just cut your leg off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Antibiotics and anesthesia. Those are good things, but we are going to get to a point maybe where we start to kind of long for that simpler time. And all of us kind of got. I saw what happened to the room when we were listening to that music. We were all like, we're fucked.
You know what I love about the antiseptic anesthesia stuff and antibiotics? I was watching the Civil War. It was a show. It was like a fictional show based on the Civil War, and a guy got shot in the leg, and the doctor's like, "That leg's gonna have to come off. We can't save him." And then he's like, "Give him this," and he hands him moonshine. And I was like, "Wait, pour the moonshine on the wound."
That's it. That's
Don't
so
drink
true.
it. And
it's so true.
It's like it was right there, but they didn't know.
They didn't know. But
I'm not very black-pilled when it comes to like AI and automation and stuff. I think that there was just a company that released or started taking orders for a humanoid robot. It's going to be $20,000, $500 a month, and it will be able to learn to do things in your house, do your laundry, to do your, to clean up your house, to do your dishes. I think that is going to that type of automation, right? Not just at homes, but like those types of automation in all aspects of our society. I think that is going to open up a type of abundance and a type of productivity that humanity has never seen.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played the game Stray?
No, I have not.
Stray?
No.
You play a cat, and you traverse around a city doing cat stuff, but the story is actually amazing. Although they do this weird thing as to why the cat can communicate with robots. It's the only entity left are AI robots that were designed by humans to do work, and humans are all dead. And so what is left of humanity are these just machines with no purpose.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really sad game, and it's kind of silly because you play as a cat.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that is a potentiality. You mentioned getting these humanoid robots like Optimus. And I was thinking, I don't need Optimus. I just got a kid. Just, give her a few more years, she'll be doing the dishes, and I don't got to worry about it. But the reality is people aren't having kids, and they're buying robots instead. So sooner or later, this really will happen. An old man will have 4 or 5 robots. It'll be like, have you seen the Superman movie? Mm-hmm. That just came out. He's got a robot named 4 by Alan Tudyk, voices the robot, and talks like this, Superman, and he's just a robot. Well, there's going to be an old man. He's going to have a bunch of those, and they're going to say, Mr. Brown, I've made dinner for you, because they're British for some reason. Yeah, and then Tate is going to die of old age, and the robots are going to be like, oh, heavens, he's died. Let's clean up the body, and they'll roll him up into a carpet, throw him in a closet, and then keep maintaining the house, changing light bulbs, whatever they got to do, and no one will know that Tate's been dead for years, because the robots will keep doing their thing.
Unless it's an embalming robot. But I know what you mean.
To be fair, I think at that point the robot would be like, I must report the death of Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
And then it'll just phone the internet.
Yeah, you're right.
And then a bunch of robots come, take the body away, and no human interacts with his house.
But then it goes back to this. I think AI is going to usher in the essential question: what are we, and who are we? We are not just creatures that chase the sensation. Robots and abundance and all this technology will satisfy our sensations. It'll help me release dopamine. It'll fill me with carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, etc. But at the end of the day, human beings are more than that. We just are, and we need more than that.
Liberals are going to plug their brains into the matrix faster than you can say the matrix.
Good luck with that, liberals, because it's not going to work.
Why not? But what do you mean?
Because I think we're more than that.
No, but what do you mean it's not going to work? What's going to happen?
I think what happens is it leads to some kind of existential angst. It leads to some kind of you cannot chase. It's a little bit like this. You cannot chase just sensation because you'll run out. You will hit a crisis. Look. Will Smith said, I got everything I wanted to the nth degree. Nth degree. You see this all the time. When you get to the top of that wall and you've satisfied every craving from power, status, the best looking women, the best food, whatever it might be, you get to a point where you need more. You get to a point where something happens. Christianity was founded in the soil that was the Roman Empire when it was bursting at the seams with Greek philosophy. All the elite of Rome had their children being tutored by Greek philosophers, etc., etc. It's very interesting to me that this religion that talked about all the antithetical things to Roman culture, like turn the other cheek, might does not make right. The meek will inherit the earth. All these things that were so counterintuitive. Love your enemy. Can you think of anything more un-Roman than that? And yet it created a revolution and took over the world. I think that's very interesting. As I get older, I become more interested in that. I get more interested in the fact that now that we have AI, more people are going back to church. Now, part of that might be fear because they don't know what to do with the future because they can't predict it. So you want to go back to your roots. But something else is going on. You can't just plug your brain into the matrix. Human beings are more than that. We are.
Civilization will continue. Conservatives won't go in the matrix. But look, some fat transgender guy is going to be like, plug me in. And they're going to plug him in. And he's going to go into digital world where he's a 5'6" petite blonde woman. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be like, this is all I ever wanted and I never want to leave. And then he'll waste away, lose lots of weight, and then die in his pod where they've got roach paste pumped into his gut. And he's going to be like, perfect.
No, because guess what? The next generation will say, I don't want to be that guy.
Next generation are not the liberals. My point is the liberals today are going to plug themselves in and die off.
And just die off.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Conservatives,
that makes sense.
Christian conservatives are going to go, I ain't going anywhere near that Satan demon stuff.
Yeah.
Moderates
You're
are
already seeing it, man.
Agreed.
My daughter was like, I don't go near Twitter or X. It's toxic. I went, wow. And neither do my friends.
Moderates are going to say, hey, look, the video games are fine sometimes, but we've got responsibilities. So you're going to get a moderate, what's funny is what used to be the left. Someone like me, I'll buy the PS10. And I'll play, the new Spider-Man game where you are Spider-Man a little bit sometimes. I've got Marvel Rivals, but I play it once a month, if that.
Right.
And then you're going to have conservatives who are going to be like, this is wrong, don't do it. Then you're going to have liberals who are going to be like, I live in it 24/7, I don't do anything else.
God.
And they're not going to have kids. They're already not having kids.
It's called being an addict.
It is.
Right? I mean.
But look, you've got all these identity crises among the left. They're they got body positivity problems where they wish they weren't disgusting, so they've tried justifying why they're out of shape. You've got furries, you've got transracial. All these people are going to be like, so you mean there's going to be some 300-pound, 6'3", 350-pound obese guy sitting in a chair, and he's going to be like, I'm a cat girl. And he's going to plug his brain in, and then...
I like how all your characters end up being like...
Well, when the faggot talk like
is that what it is?
And he's going to be like, hey, plug me in because I'm a cat girl. This is not who I really am. And then you're going to be playing passively, and there's going to be this petite little blonde cat girl who's hitting on you, and you're going to be like, wow, she's cool. And then like send me a pic.
Yeah.
Nope.
So this is going to be Jabba.
Have you... Right. Yeah. Have you seen the movie Surrogates?
No.
In this reality, there are androids that you can project your mind into to control. So everybody just stays in their house all day. They go into a bed where they plug their brains in and then pilot their surrogate, which looks just like them. So in the beginning of the movie, some woman's making out with a guy. A guy in a motorcycle pulls up and blasts some kind of device at the two people that are surrogates and fries the robots. So they decide, okay, this blonde woman, we're going to go figure out what happened, find the operator. Because the robot broke. The human's fine.
Yeah.
They go to the house of the owner, and they find a 350-pound morbidly obese guy in his bay who was piling the woman. He's dead too, which is like the plot of the film. But big, fat, disgusting guy had dainty female robot.
But human beings need meaning. And that whole thing you're describing is void of meaning. The problem, look, not to get religious, but I was trying to write about this, and my special False Gods, everybody, on YouTube. But it's about this idea that this is a false god. The idea that you have this tree of knowledge here, right? You have this phone, and I have all the facts I need. I can get all the facts and all the knowledge, but it doesn't get me any closer to the truth. It doesn't cure my confusion. It doesn't somehow satiate that thing that I need that I can't put my finger on. There's something about human beings, right? This idea that there's a great debate between Matthew Arnold, this is a long time ago, and Thomas Huxley, who is known as Darwin's bulldog. And Huxley was arguing for the idea that our universities should stop teaching dead languages like Latin and Shakespeare. We should be teaching engineering, and we should be teaching math, and we should be teaching science, because that's how a society gets ahead. And Matthew Arnold, who was the great philosopher and poet, said, look, it's true. The United States is the home to the roaring stock market, the biggest guns, machinery, and the NFL. Yes, we're powerful and we're strong. But the reason you teach Latin and the reason you teach Shakespeare and the reason art is the cornerstone of a culture is if you don't support those things, you will be a powerful country, but you won't be interesting. You'll be an interesting culture.
You also forget your first principles.
You forget your first principles. Exactly. And that's what I think is interesting. And that's what we have to get back to.
We got to get this one more segment because we missed it the other day. We've got this video of everyone's favorite Sydney Sweeney, and I'm going to play it for you.
I hope your audience was writing down all the things I've been saying in crayon. All right, keep going.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking.
I wish you'd fall asleep right
here. Since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
Listen. I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Oh, yeah!
So good. The HR lady trap trying to get you to apologize.
That was I am completely bored with what you are saying. I would just like to stress, however, there's nothing wrong with saying your genes are superior. When you're talking about blue jeans. And I'm kidding.
Sydney Sweeney. And here's the thing.
I'm kidding. I don't care if you think your genes are superior. That's fine.
Yeah, listen, I want to say this too. I really like you. I like you. And I don't know him, but I'm sure he's a nice guy and he's got great hair I want to get lost in. And you've got the hair of an intellectual. You look like you should be British with a pipe. And you're good people. You have a child. But I want to say this out loud. I would stick a knife right in your fucking heart for that girl, okay? If I had to kill all of you, I'd do it in a heartbeat. And I would leave my wife and kids, and this is a terrible thing to say. That's who I am. Look at her right there.
Just everyone starts murdering each other, and she's sitting back there staring.
Sorry, you'll go to a better place. And Sydney, I did this for you. And look at her.
And as we know from Luigi Mangione, she'd be into it. Women love murderers.
They love it. I have a whole thing about that. It's like you love the toxic man. I have a philosophy on that, and it's that when you're younger, you flirt with a toxic person, a manipulative person, and a narcissistic person because they bring out your narcissism, your toxic side, your manipulation. And those are demons that everybody wants to purge. There's something about that the kind of sex that creates. I have this whole joke where the animals in your house are like, something's wrong here. The cat's like, this is unnatural. I'll see you in 3 days. So fucking true, right? Because you're purging something. This is a relationship with yourself when you're with somebody toxic. But women like those demonic males. And there was an anthropologist who said the reason for that is because somehow you have to have that element in female society because it balances out the gene pool. Otherwise, you wouldn't have aggressive men. You'd only have complete betas. So you have to have the extremes.
It's real simple. It's real simple.
What is it? Tell me.
Go back 10,000, 20,000 years or whatever you think. And you have 2 men and 2 women. One man says, someone has come to take my food from me. I'm going to do everything I can to avoid a conflict. He has taken a bunch of my food. I protected some of it. And the woman goes, okay, honey. The other guy has already killed 12 people for no reason. And the woman's with him sitting on a pile of bread. And a man comes by and says, I'm here to steal your food. And he goes, what's 13? Kills him.
Exactly.
Who survives?
That's right.
The man who is demure, the man who is.
That's right.
So I think that the reason why women like 50 Shades of Grey is because I think Phil explained it as they want to. I think you were saying this. They want a man who is capable of extreme violence, but who will not do it to them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Dangerous Stranger. Have you seen? But they always tame the Dangerous Stranger. The pirate.
Well,
you
I
know,
mean, look at
the billionaire.
Look at Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, dude.
Like
Literally.
the Beast is
Correct.
literally a monster.
Yes.
Who kidnaps her?
Yeah, he kidnaps her.
Yes.
But she tames him.
Yeah.
She takes the monster.
It's the
and calms
boogeyman.
him. Yeah, it's exactly what
Have
it is.
you
Women
read-
want.
Have you read A Billion Wicked Thoughts?
No.
Oh, dude, please, everyone. It is two neuroscientists. I interrupted you. I apologize, but I wanted to jump on this. It's two neuroscientists, and they looked at Pornhub's worldwide server to see what people download when nobody is looking. You'll find the countries that are into granny porn more than anything else, and there's a reason for it. It's fucking crazy. And what men like, but also what women like. Women that what are the romance novels that do the best with women? 50 Shades of Grey, when they were running out of fucking rope in the hardware stores. The kind of rope in the hardware stores in New York City.
Yeah.
This is right to your point. It's Beauty and the Beast, dangerous stranger that only you can tame.
Look, I mean,
Bernie
look,
Sanders wrote about this and got a lot of flack for it. He wrote in the 90s that women fantasize about being raped.
Bernie Sanders did?
Yep.
the best look, women women react really, really well when if a guy knows that a woman likes him, right? You can't do this to you can't just go and be like a woman random off the street that you don't know. Right. But if you're on a date with a girl or you're on a second date or whatever, like women like it when you grab them and kiss them. Like they like
You can't do this to random.
Well, no,
can't do this to random people.
Women who are attracted to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like strong men
Exactly.
to be assertive.
I'm gonna try
like
that. I'm
they-
gonna try this tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're live. See you there.
Yeah.
On stage, just
On
like,
stage.
you're on OnlyFans, right?
Yeah. Well, aggression, competitiveness.
Yes.
My wife, I was talking to her and I was working on this problem, this idea. You know, I have this business where I do commercials and stuff. And I was talking to her and she was talking to me and I looked at her and I go, I got it. She goes, what? I go, sorry, I just got this idea. I've just been obsessing with this thought. And she looks at me, I think we were dating at the time. She goes, you know, you work so hard and you never stop and you're really ambitious. And I go, I am? She goes, yeah, and it turns me on. And I was like, that turns me on. I was like, this is the fucking greatest compliment ever. I'm get some pot roast on the fucking stove.
Chicks like it if you have calloused hands.
Please don't say
Because it
chicks. Please say women.
Fine, women.
Okay, no, I love
women
chicks.
like
I love
it.
chicks. I'm kidding.
Women like it if you have calloused hands because it shows that you do something.
Yeah.
Right. You don't just sit around and do nothing. Women do not like dudes that just sit around and play video games. Women like dudes that are active in life, that go out and do things. That like women want men that assert themselves in the world, and they want men that assert themselves with them as well.
And when they can sing like you, forget it, bro. Because you got swimmer shoulders and an angel's voice.
Rock stars.
Good compliment.
Maybe a demon's voice.
Maybe a demon's.
Being on stage does help. That's true. Like
think?
they like this.
You can have a hoof and a horn if you can sing and play the guitar. You're in. There's always a subset of women that are in.
It is true.
Comedy's the same way.
But actually, I want to push back a little bit. I think the trope about singing and being a star, it's actually more about being socially above other men.
Yeah.
So-
social status, you mean?
Yeah. So right now, there's this really funny video from who did the video we watched with there's the guy and he gets asked, "Do you want to deport illegal immigrants?" He says yes, and then the woman goes, "What?" You don't remember that one?
No.
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley walks up to a guy and he's like, "Do you think we should deport illegal immigrants?" And the guy goes, "Yes." And then the girl looks at him and goes, and then he's like, "What?" And then Nick's like, "She doesn't think so." And he's like, why shouldn't we deport illegal immigrants? And she goes, "They're not illegal." And then he asks the guy again. And the guy, he's like, "So do you, he's like, she doesn't think we should deport illegal immigrants. You do?" And he goes, "I'm not so sure."
Oh God.
Long house.
You're a bitch, bro.
Yeah.
Long house.
But my point is, you know, you're mentioning your daughter's socialist, your son's Genghis Khan. Women want to fit in for safety. Men are the greater male variability hypothesis who challenge.
Yeah.
Men fight each other for status to be the dominant controller of society.
Yeah.
Women have to agree with other women because that's society.
That's interesting. That's a very interesting
true.
way of looking at it. Yeah, it makes
So-
sense.
That guy should have told that woman. He should have said, "Yes, I want to deport them, and I want to deport her too."
Or he could have just said, when she was like, I looked at him, he could have went, yeah, if they came in here illegally, they get deported. You got a problem with that? I can go home now. And then she would have been like, no, actually, I'm really turned on.
So there's that. There's that. What the heck was it? There's that show with what that Andrew Wilson does a lot with those girls. He has all the whatever. And I guess
The Whatever podcast.
It's the Whatever podcast. But I think I heard him saying, or one of the girls saying, when the guys are on that show and they're taking it to the gals and debating them and really taking it to them and being honest and kind of destroying their positions, guess what happens when the cameras are off?
The girls are like, let's go.
They start flirting with him because that's the guy because he knows where he stands.
Are you familiar with what's called the shit test?
No.
So this is like red pill dating psychology terminology. They say that women will intentionally act out to see if the man is strong enough to keep her in line.
Oh, yeah.
And weak guys are not attractive. So the woman might do something that intentionally causes a problem to see if the man can keep it together.
Yes. I've had women tell me that about other guys. The woman said that. She was like, I just want to see if he's going to do anything, and he didn't. And I would just act up. And I was
It's
like,
like I shot him and then he didn't do it.
yeah. Stab
Well,
him.
so now you have all these liberal women acting out and all these liberal guys pandering to them.
Yeah.
It must be miserable.
It is miserable. They're not turned on by it.
There was a viral Reddit post where it was got shared by a bunch of Trump supporters. It was a woman saying she was a liberal, but she fantasizes about like ripped, strong guys with MAGA hats on, just like ravaging her. And she's like, I don't know if there's something wrong with me for thinking this, but it's like all I want. And it's like you want the assertive, strong guy who knows how to run a system to
Look.
have children with you so he can protect them. Like,
Yeah, how about this? A nation defines itself on what it's willing to fight for, but so does a human being. You know, a man should define that. That's what I like about you, actually. It's a good way of describing who you are. Like, it's not easy to constantly fight for what you believe in, but it's really hard also to define why you believe in what you do. You have to define the lines you're willing to fight for and what you stand behind. It's a very important, my father always said that. My father said, never be an intellectual, be somebody, there is an answer. You got to work for it. It's not easy. Earn your point of view. You know, don't your point of view should not be based on your attitude or your feelings. You should earn it with hard thought, because knowing why your country, knowing what got us here is very important, and knowing what to fight for and why it's worth it is everything.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.